Hello, everyone. This is Noah and John, and it is Friday, and that means you're going to get your weekly Manhattan market update. Johnny, let's get right to it. I'm looking at supply. We're at 91.28. Show me the chart.
Well, there you go. 2% drop. I mean, supply is starting to come in as we wane down that active season.
We did say something about peak supply last week, John, and it looks more like that's actually going to happen the remainder of this cycle. So let's keep an eye on that. That's going down. If you're a buyer, your options are going down. Moving on to demand, pending sales, 25.49. John, show me the chart.
Yep, that's 1.5% up from last week. So, the supply is moving down. Contract sales, or rather pending sales, is moving up. So we're kind of going in the right direction as we close out the active season.
Exactly. A little surprising. And I just want to make a mental note over here, guys. Make a mental note. When I look at monthly new supply, we're at 1726. And when I look at monthly contract activity, we're at 874. So this is a very interesting thing to look at. John, let's go to the weeklies. All right. Yep. Weeklies. We'll step back and look at that in just a second. 1 week actives, where we come in. Ding, ding, ding. 257. Show me the chart.
That's a 14% drop from last week. And you remember the last week and the week before kind of, took places. One was up 30%, the other was down 30%. So we're coming in down 14%, which is, really what you want to see on a weekly level when those numbers actually matter. And listen, we're below 300 and we're kind of falling rapidly as we approach, Thanksgiving, the end of year. So we're sort of, tapering off there in terms of the actives coming on the market.
Exactly. If you're expecting to see this jump to 500 or 600 level on a weekly basis, like we did a few months ago, that's just not going to happen, I don't think, until the next listing cycle, which will be February, March of next year. Very interesting. Let's go on to demand. 1 week contract signed, where we come in. Ding, ding, ding. Ooh, 196.
196. That's 3% up from last week, which is 190. Listen, we're still under 200. I'd love it to see if we were over 200, but look, I get it. We're sort of winding down, as we've mentioned exhaustively already in this short episode. But hey, listen, the pace of actives listings getting signed into contract is I would say great, considering this time of year, considering everything that's happened.
That's right. And let's just take it out, back it up just a little bit. We always look at 1 week, but take a look at 1 month for just 1 second. And if you remember, we went back to this chart over here. 1 month new supply, 1726. 1 month contract activity, 874. So when I go over here and I look at 1 month active, John, it's at 1306. Okay, so we are going down right now on a 30-day pace. Supply is going down, and that's why supply is actually being pressured to the downside. That's feeding that. Now, if I change that to contract signed, check this out. 974, John.
Yeah,
974. We usually don't see 1,000 unless it's like an active season. We obviously did not have an active season, but fellas, you're putting deals into contract. I'm sure you're seeing it on the streets. That's why pending sales is going up.
Yeah, that's a great point. And the other thing that's interesting is, when you talk about the decreasing supply and the less actives coming on the market, the flip side to that, and I think we should get into this, is how off market is also rising sharply.
That's right. That's right. If you look at off markets, that is starting to tick up. Okay. And that is something to keep an eye on as we get into the holidays. These are listings that are probably going to be coming right back on the market once we get past the off market. Very interesting stuff.
Net for buyers, you're running out of options. Oh, that's not true. You have fewer options now than you did a week ago.
Not as much stuff. Not as much stuff. Now, listen, let's take another angle here, John. All right. I want to take a look at what type of price reductions are going on, right? We never take a look at price reductions. So let's take a look at this and take a look at what kind of trends. First off, if you're a seller and you're wondering how much do I need to lower my price, take a look at this chart. Okay. John, this is taking a look at every single contract signed. Contract signed. All right. So we're looking at something that's got a deal done.
Yep.
How much did they have to lower their price? What was the price cut that had it? And when I look at this, okay, you're at 10% now. Well, the last time we were at 10% was in May. So I'm just saying, but you're at 7%, you're at 9%, you're at 9%, you're at 9%, you're at 8%. That's about where you need to reduce your price, right? Now, do you see anything here you want to talk about?
Well, I think it's interesting because, you point out the last time we were around 10%, it was around May. And we just talked about how many listings are coming off the market. So I think if I'm going to put 2 and 2 together, I'd say that we're seeing 10% plus in the more serious sellers that are trying to sell right now. The non-serious sellers who are waiting for their price are like, you know what, I'm pulling off the market. I'm going to wait till the spring. So, what I'm seeing here is sort of par for the course in terms of who's trying to sell at this point in time.
That's right. And I think that's exactly right. And if you think about sellers right now going into the off season, right? Nobody wants to sell in the off season when demand is low. You want to sell in the peak season. So those are the sellers that need to sell. And this is the kind of stuff that happens. So it's
I'm gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna say it's gonna be a very brief off season. I think it actually might be a busy off season. I think a number of things are gonna pressure buyers into start thinking long term. And I think a lot of fear has there's a lot of uncertainty, but the fear on that uncertainty is down. And I think we actually might have a busy off season for a change.
That's really interesting, John. Because of the absence of fear compared to where it was 6 months ago, 7 months ago.
Yeah, you combine that with low mortgage rates. You combine it with the idea that there's negotiation right now. The buyers have the market where they want it, and I think we could actually see a busy off season. Let's see if I'm right. I was right on the pending sales number.
You nailed. I was totally wrong. Listen, it's a contrarian view. I don't think anyone is out there predicting a strong off season for our market. I mean, we're strong right now. You got the trend in your favor, John. You're riding the wave. So I'm gonna just tell you that right now.
Trend is your friend.
You're right. Very, very interesting. I want to take another look. I want to take another look at these price reductions, John. This is super interesting when I look at this. This is now, again, I'm taking a look at all the contracts that were signed, okay? And then what I want to look at is how many of them got into contract without a price cut? And that's represented by gray. How many of them got into contract with one price cut? How many took 2 price cuts? And how many took 3 price cuts to get to contract? So this is a really interesting chart for any seller that is trying to kind of understand, oh, I don't want to lower my price. I don't want to lower my price. Well, you know what? You look at a chart like this, the majority of listings are cutting their price 1, 2, or 3+ more times, John. What do you see here?
Yeah, I agree. And, it seems to me that, we talked earlier about how it's the more serious sellers that are remaining on the market. And I can kind of see that as, that number of price cuts sort of shifts down as we get more recent. But right. I'm surprised when, what do you think about June, July there, Noah? 0 price cuts were sort of a little bit higher than usual. And then, you look at August through October.
Yeah, right over here.
A decent amount of price cuts there.
Take a look at this chart, Don. It shows you better what you're trying to say. This is now the exact same chart, but we're breaking it down by percentages. Exactly. So if I look at no price cut, that's what you were trying to say, John. July, August, and September, 34, 44, 42%. I don't know. That was the reopen, John. So
it's almost as if prices were sort of right. The sellers had a chance, sellers and agents, and thank you, agents, good work, had a chance to assess the situation, and they did a good job of it.
Yeah. However, when I bring out my little Madden pen and I look at where we are right now, this is the latest figure looking at November contract signed. 84% of listings that were signed into contract in November have had 1 or more price cuts. Okay. Yeah. And when I look at the 1 price cut level, this is this color right over here, it's going up from 17 to 21 to 21 to 25, right? Yeah. This is going up from 15 to 17 to 24. This is going up from 19 to 20 to 35%. So, and this is going down, of course. So we got to keep an eye on this. And again, if I'm a buyer, my interpretation of this is that sellers that have to sell, this is the time, because they have that time pressure to sell. So they got to reduce that price because they got to get it out before December or January, and buyers are feasting on it.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, and I feel like that shift as the red side there gets a little bit bigger. I mean, the market's starting to get a little bit cheaper. Yeah. And I'm not sure how long that's going to last if we start seeing buyers, that herd mentality of buyers, come back.
That's right. Well, it's very interesting. We usually don't look at data this way. This is what we're all about. So we wanted to show it to you guys. That is John Walkup. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We are both from UrbanDigs, and have a great weekend, and we'll catch you next time.